Vladimir Putin been weakened by recent events? It's hard to tell, but he's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's losing the war at home. And he has become a bit of a fly around the world. And it's not just NATO. It's not just the European Union. It's Japan.
Chuck DeVore joins me now. Chuck, we've played this a lot, and okay, he made a mistake. He mentioned a wrong country, but it's huge. And this is the man who's leading the free Western world, and he seems to be stumbling and bumbling his long way. And it does not inspire confidence, does it?
No, it doesn't, Ashley. And in fact, I think we're all witnessing the cognitive decline of our president. And, when you look at the stench of corruption that's beginning to rise up around the Biden crime family, I think that we see potentially this path, a very difficult path to navigate nonetheless, but a path where the White House is going to announce probably by October, when you have to start signing up for these primaries and these caucuses, that the president's not going to run for re-election.
Wow.
The challenge that they have is they have to prevent the vice president, who's the most profoundly unpopular vice president in modern history, they have to prevent any scenario where she might take over and become president. They need to figure a way out of this mess. And I think it's just becoming increasingly obvious that our president is suffering from cognitive decline.
I mean, who takes over, Chuck? They got a pretty weak bench, I would say.
Yeah, so look, this is going to be a sprint, and it's going to favor those Democrats with name ID and the ability to raise a lot of money. My odds-on favorite for the Democratic nomination, if this happens, is California Governor Gavin Newsom.
Well, he's done so well in California. Anyway, don't get me started. I want to move on to this issue, Chuck. You're sounding the alarm on China's spy base in Cuba. In your latest op-ed, you write, what China is doing in Cuba is a big threat to all of us. And is this just purely that it's right in our backyard?
It isn't just that it's right in our backyard. It's that the Chinese are taking over this installation that was partially demolished in the wake of the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Russia was unable to afford the $200 million a year in rent for this facility. And now the Chinese are moving in. And the big difference is that in the Cold War era, for 40 years, the Soviet Union and then Russia had about 1,500 linguists and other signals intelligence experts. Well, now we have artificial intelligence, and the Chinese are leading at that. So the Chinese are going to be able to vacuum clean our communications along the southeastern coast. We're talking bank transactions, all emails, all cell phone communications, and they're going to be able to analyze all of that signals intelligence with very powerful artificial intelligence. And at some point, you may see offensive use of that. For example, economic warfare, attacking our financial institutions, et cetera. The last thing, Ashley, that really concerns me is there's a large training base that the Chinese are setting up with the Cubans. And the question is, who are they going to train? Because the Cubans already are fairly high in their proficiency and their professionalism. Are they going to start to train insurgents, for example, in the 7 Latin American countries that are not yet left-leaning or basically in alignment with China and with Cuba?
Yeah, that's very disturbing. Hopefully, the administration is already thinking about these things, but again, I wouldn't count on it. But anyway, Chuck DeVore, thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Very good stuff. Thank you.